Previously in X-Men. The X-Men are in a dangerous place. Their leadership is in a state of uncertainty. Storm is exploring her darker instincts and emotions, and her powers are starting to reflect it. Cyclops is questioning the very nature of his girlfriend and if she might be the reincarnation of Jean Grey, which is insane. Wolverine's heart, once open and vulnerable to Lady Mariko Yoshida, has been ripped in two by his fiancée, claiming that he is both unworthy and an animal. Two fears that plague Logan's entire adult life. Perhaps there is an individual who has had an influence over some of these changes. Perhaps it is someone with evil intentions. I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are a group of 7 comics. Welcome to episode 91 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic, as we read Uncanny X-Men 174 by storytellers Chris Claremont and Paul Smith, inked by Bob Wiacek, cover date of October 1983. Whoa. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. I'm very good. It's Tuesday. We're a little early tonight for those catching the live stream. So we've got a little more pep in our step because, we're old and dads and, require sleep. We're doing well, though. How are you doing, Jason?
True. So I'm fine, thank you. And I'm grateful that you were able to accommodate this earlier time slot for this week, which is not intended to be a regular thing. It's just a domino effect. Our friend of the show, Kevin, aka Toying Around, has invited me to join his Boba Squadron tonight as we review the latest episode of Ahsoka, which airs live at 9. So okay. I've got to watch that at 9 and then hop over his stream at 10 o'clock, okay. Which has forced you and our fellow amazing regular viewers to accommodate that schedule so I can try and do everything in one night, because I hate the idea of canceling this show. It drives me insane.
It's almost as if a person has mentally got to you and put things in motion to their benefit.
Yes. I wonder. Oh, and there he is, toying around himself. Hello there. Hello, Kevin. How are you? So I'm excited for tonight. I'm hoping we're still on. And I'm excited.
We'll do this hour. Let's do it. Make
tight
it
hour. And then I got to watch Ahsoka and eat dinner. And also get a take, have a take on Ahsoka.
Right.
This latest episode. And then deliver that, in collaboration and fun with our friend Kevin there. So you got to read issue 174?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I read it. Oh.
So we've seen, just to, talk to our loyal, our faithful, he's saying, wait, why? Wait, what are we waiting for? You got to tell me. If this is important, Kevin, you can always message me. My telephono is right here. I'll see a notification from you. That being said, we've seen this before in X-Men comics where, there have been some events and some action, and there's an issue where we're kind of playing catch up a little bit. Now that maybe the physical threat is over, everyone go back to the mansion. Let's go back to our lives, have maybe a danger room session. Let's maybe play a sport of some kind. Let's have some personal moments. And those can often be some of the most boring and most engaging issues at the same time.
Agreed. I think it given a 200, 300 plus issue run, they're necessary. They're absolutely necessary to take a break, take a breather. They may not be the most action-packed issues of that year on the newsstand, when you go and pick it up. But they're absolutely, and I think that actually is, so it's by design for sure, because they are creating with issues ahead in mind. But it's also, I think, a wonderful example of why the X-Men as a franchise and as a group of characters, as a family of characters, are so endearing, is because we get this character development over time. And it's not just cosmic battle after unbelievable saves the day. There's these moments in between where they're painting or they're playing or they're just kind of hanging out and talking. And it works in the long run. It's a long game, right? It's a long game. Yeah.
True. And which leads me to, a regular, like back to an ongoing theme that we have on this show, and when reading comics of this era, is that it's pretty transparent now looking back that a lot of writers were making it up as they go along. One of the most famous runs from this time period is Larry Hama on G.I. Joe. He does 155 issues, not including annuals or other specials, and which were called yearbooks, by the way. But anyway, there were some macro arcs in that 155 issue run, and many people have talked to him about how meaningful this arc was, and then that, and he just has been transparent and said, guys, I was making it up month to month. I was writing and editing multiple projects, and I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Like, I'm glad that it had an impact on you. That really wasn't his big picture plan.
Which is almost all the more incredible then, right?
Right. So that's really what I think connects to this, is that Claremont does have some things where he is thinking long term, or at least he's laying out some pieces long term so that it will work. Like he's planting some seeds. He might not have an idea where it's going to go, and we talked about this with Phoenix and whether she's coming back or not. Mm-hmm. But we know that with Magneto, there definitely is a trajectory. With Storm, there seems to be a trajectory. Like, he is thinking maybe next year and a little bit, which is very different than a lot of other writers. And the other part of this is that he stays on the book for so long. Often writers and artists too get, let's say, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Claremont gets 15, gets a decade and a half.
Yeah.
So it's a very different animal. And I think that is fascinating, because this series kind of becomes a bit of a case study as to what happens when you do decide to take the writing seriously and not just go month to month, and actually plan ahead in collaboration with someone like Louise Simonson and the artists as well.
He does something, and I think it's probably both intentional and organic. I don't think it's always within the conscious mind. I think he probably does it a little bit by repetition and experience, and it's something that I've tried to add, on my level when I write comics or scripts and we talk about them, is just to add flourishes in and pieces that could turn into like a branch of something. It could turn into this, could turn into that. Perhaps it's a character's name, perhaps a reference. But Claremont's quite good at. I mean, we talk about his verbosity for sure, but he's also quite good at like just opening a window in a room. What's that mean? Opening a door. And then suddenly 4 years later, that thing has become, integral to that arc, which is
right.
So again, I wonder if it's by the habit, the practice of his craft, but also by design. I would probably a little bit of both.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm having a spat with Kevin while we're doing this.
Kevin, this is our time. Your time's at 10 o'clock, Kevin.
I was really grateful that you had something to say, so I could just write back to him. I could search back in our chat to find a reference.
Second thing I'm going to say then quickly, so you can keep doing that, is have you heard of the announcement of the new Claremont comic?
No, I haven't. Please.
So Claremont is coming back to write what happens after that one issue of Cap, Black Widow, and Wolverine in Madripoor. 5 issues. It's coming in February.
That's great. Who's doing the art?
I didn't recognize the name.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm sure it's someone you might recognize. I mean, they're working with Claremont, but
right.
That's it. He's picking it up after that. What's the issue number? I know you know it off by heart.
Oh, me? Do I know it?
Yeah,
268.
There you go. So he's picking it up after that. There it is. Right. I know. There's our gals. There's our gals doing the 268.
Yeah. So there you go. That's good fun. That's really good fun. So. I'm going to throw that on the ground. Okay, cool. Excellent. I'm excited to get into this.
Shall we get into this?
Yeah, man. This is super exciting. I'm not actually going to open up the original. I don't think I've opened this one yet. It's not in great condition, but I do find with my old man eyes that the essentials are so crisp and so much easier to read, and you present the colors on the screen. So I'm usually happy to get both of those. By the way, your kids having a good second week? back to school? Everything okay?
Yes. Yeah, we just did a bit of homework in the kitchen, and I shooed them off because I'm like, X-Men is starting, children.
Yes, we had
But
the same thing.
I will say this: what's really cute, I mean, I think, and lovely, is my son's first. He's grade 7. His first assignment is kind of like what I did in summer, kind of thing. He's like putting together like a recap, and he has to do like 5 entries, kind of like diary style.
Yeah.
And one of the entries is going to Fan Expo, and both you and I get a shout out in it.
What?
He talks about going to Fan Expo. He talks about like what Fan Expo is. He's like, my dad and his friend Jason write and create Group of 7 comics and Peregrines. Like his teacher will automatically know what they are. Fantastic. But he just, anyway, it's very sweet, but also like, yeah, we made it into the entry of his Fan Expo experience. So
did he talk about the coffee maker incident?
He did not talk about the coffee maker.
He's like, and my dad's friend told me to back off, bro. I know how to use a coffee maker.
While I was mansplaining how to use a coffee. No, he did not talk about that. But anyway, it was
such a good moment.
Yeah. So
Harry was
anyway,
a joy
there you
to
go.
have.
It was very, very cute.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy to hear about that.
Yeah,
I really love this cover.
I do too.
And I wanted to find more references to how it was made because it's, Paul Smith is probably drawing the 2 elements in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So the character in the background, who we can just talk straight, we know this is Jason Wingard. Like this is Mastermind, and he has had a thing going on against the X-Men with Jean Grey for a long time, and that piece is not drawn with, or is not presented in black line art, right? It's presented what they would call a color hold. So that means it has to be like, because it was done with analog tech, these are going to be 2 different pieces that are then combined for the final version, which is kind of neat. So I found the original art of Scott and Madeline Pryor together, but I have not found the original drawing of Mastermind there. It's such a great image of like him with the holding them in the palm of the hand. Really good. Yeah. And then like the idea of it being the flame, and we know he always is sort of smoking, lighting a match. Like that's part of his iconography.
And his so we get this version of Jason Wingard in the Burn run, right? And it's wonderful. It does, again, we talk about Paul Smith, we talk about how accomplished he is at figure design, facial design. I don't think Jason Wingard's looked better. Like it's so the lines on his face, the nose, it's such a beautiful rendering.
He's doing this, but he's also, sorry, I gotta switch it.
Go.
He's doing this and doing this, right? Like,
whoa. So
there's both these sort of elements, and that hand on his chin also like shows the thinking.
It does
the contemplation, but then the holding them in the palm is just excellent, and like lit from above, and really.
And it also begs this question, and we've come across it. I don't know if maybe Paul Smith has drawn it a little bit. The Hellfire Club, like, the X-Men defeat them, they're all these things, a whole bunch of issues ago. And now we're in this version of maybe a threat from the Hellfire Club, at least from Jason Wingard. And like, they're still wearing the same garb, which I think is really kind of funny. Like they haven't changed. Like Jason Wingard's like, this thing is the best version I could ever have. You know what I mean? And it's like, didn't you just want to change your clothes? Because like the original version of Mastermind is like that kind of cloaked, hooded, hag-esque actually.
For sure, with that thin mustache.
Yeah.
And he looks, and his hair is flat. He looks like he's been living
greasy.
In an alley. Yes.
Yeah.
The other piece we should add to this is around Uncanny X-Men 117, 118, 119. The X-Men are believed to dead, and Jean Grey she's a survivor of that, and she goes to the Mediterranean on vacation.
That's right.
To kind of refuel emotionally from that experience. And Claremont gets a chance to rewrite some of those interstitial pieces in the backups with John Bolton of classic X-Men, which are set back when those events happen. And so he really fleshes out Jason Wingard's predatory behavior towards Jean and his hunting of her, which really adds to this. Like if you add those, we did talk about them, and he has an affair with her, like full on. She believes Scott's dead, and he
But
he
it's like someone
gaslights
she
her,
meets in
right?
Greece, right? If I remember
It's a guy she
correctly.
meets in Greece, and
Like
they just click,
Stavros
and
or
they
something.
and they go snorkeling
That's
and
right.
all.
Yeah, I remember
You
this
know,
scene.
it's and beautifully drawn by Bolton, and it really adds to this. Like it contributes a lot of groundwork to how deeply invested Mastermind is in messing with Scott, in manipulating Jean and her imagery, and just
Mhm.
he's really a huge threat to this team. So I'm, here we are 16 minutes in and we haven't even opened it yet, but let's open this one up and get going, because it's just strong concepts, especially that
Agreed.
cover. Yeah. Romances.
Romance.
A Stanley presentation starring the Uncanny X-Men. There it is, Madeline. And Earthrise.
Oh,
Get
Scott,
it? Did you get it?
it's so beautiful.
And just his drawing. I love his hair is like the best hair for fast line and clean line in
It looks
comics.
great.
Yeah,
This might
every
be my
time.
favorite Summers. This is Scott Summers. I don't know.
100%. 100%.
Right?
So far, I agree with
So
you.
far.
So are you. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, so just before we get into the dialogue, one thing that I that came out of this when I read it, of course, the first time, and really thought was cool is based on the glasses he's wearing, we get to see Scott's eyes.
I saw that too. It's awesome.
And it's like right there. We see the eyelids. We see them open a little bit. It's really great. We've never seen his eyes like this, like under these. I mean, the ruby quartz glasses, but they're like designed in such a way that we actually kind of see, like just wearing sunglasses.
Agreed.
It looks great.
Agreed.
It looks great.
So do you want to also maybe pick sides differently? Because we just, I
sure.
think we made it so you do a good Hepzibah, which I'm happy to do. But do you want to be Scott? Do you want to be Corsair? Who do you want to be? Like, what's your?
You can be. I'll be Scott. You be Corsair.
Okay.
I can be Hepzibah, and you can.
And
I'll be Madeline. You be Hepzibah. No wait, is that right? No wait.
No, because then I gotta read.
Okay, so all right. I'll do Scott. You do Corsair. I'll do Hepzibah. You do Prior.
Gotcha. All right, here we go.
So yeah.
Mr. Summers.
Hi, Dad. Mamselle Hepzibah.
We didn't realize anyone else was around.
Shame to quit on our account, Kitlings. Specifically when you look like you're having so much fun. Sparks idea, eh, Corsair? Later. Yeah, can't wait.
Okay, hold on. I'm confused. I thought I was doing Corsair and Madeline Pryor.
Yeah. Then I'm.
Well,
right. Nope, you're right. Wow, terrible. All right, so now you're Corsair and you're Prior, and I'm Hepzibah and I'm Scott.
That's what I thought was happening.
Yeah, no, you're right. Here we
go. All
right, let's go next panel.
Next panel.
Yeah.
Scott was showing me the view.
Like father, like son, yum.
Hepzibah. That's you, actually.
Okay, Hepzibah.
I've been around planes all my life. I learned to fly before I could drive. As a kid, I fantasized about soaring in the stars, but I never imagined I'd actually see it happen. The ship, you and your fellow starjammers, they're a dream come true. Would you like the nickel tour, Miss Pryor? You bet.
What's a nickel tour?
You ever seen a roll of nickels?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, all right. Madeline's my dream come true, Hepzibah. Oh, so why I had doubt in your voice, Scott boy? Easy to talk, caring, loving, far harder to share blood. You die for her, Scott boy, or she for you, like Corsair did long ago for me? Question mark?
Yeah, it's puzzling, like what that alludes to, right?
All right. What do you mean? My dad's not dead. Came close. So'd I. Forged bonds that'll never break. Hope you do same with Lynn, Scott boy.
I believe you've already met the rest of our crew. Binary here is our newest member.
Chode. I heard about your scrap with the X-Men, Carol.
Don't worry about it, Scott. Xavier did what he thought was right. It's history.
From what Dad said, you're joining the Starjammers?
Like your lady, I've always wanted to roam the galaxies. Now I've got the chance. Also, much as I wish otherwise, there's no place left for me on Earth. No one I truly care for. Deep space is where Binary was born. That's where she'll make her home.
Nothing like referring to yourself in the third person.
Yeah, I think she means like the binary entity, like, you know? But yeah.
Yeah. Binary.
When
do you leave?
Fairly soon, I'm afraid. And I can't say when or even if we'll be back. When we last spoke, you mentioned coming with us. Still interested?
I don't know.
I also really like the way that he broke that into, or not, maybe it was the letter, but broke it into two different word balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Like it creates the time, the pause, and it's that space where you feel more of his conflict rather than just the script or just the facial expression, like looking down. Like his eyes really do work here. They're needed. Because we see he's looking down, and you don't get that from just the head tilt.
That's right.
So it's very valuable. Great call on Paul Smith's great choice on his part. But yeah, that little lettering move, I really enjoy those things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right.
At that moment, in the starship's infirmary, an expatriate empress is doing her best to determine why her true love's legs, which should work, do not. Ironic, is it not, Lilandra, that the strongest mutant mind on Earth should be laid low by a psychosomatic pain whenever I try to walk? And the pain is so severe, it disrupts my psi powers. I feel so utterly naked and helpless without them, even though I know the loss is only temporary.
If it's any consolation, my heart, this final scan confirms my suspicions. The problem is physical in origin.
Can it be connected? Will I at last be able to walk?
Yes, I believe so. I only wish I could stand beside you on that happy day.
What's wrong, Lil? What's happened?
We've received further word from Shar. Since my sister seized my throne, civil war now seems inevitable. Deathbird is quite mad. I cannot leave the Empire in her hands, any more than I can abandon those who've already raised my standard against her. I must return, Charles, and soon.
What chance do you have for a victory?
If you can walk, beloved, my rebellion can surely succeed. Come with me, Charles. Fight by my side.
And if I said, stay, as I have often?
I wish I could. It will break my heart to leave you.
Mine too. But my duty, my responsibility to both X-Men and New Mutants is as strong as yours to your empire. They are so young, Lil. And the dangers they face grow more terrible with each passing day. In addition, I'm concerned about Scott and Madeline.
I nearly killed her when first we met, mistaking her for Phoenix, the deadliest threat our universe has ever known. I feel like such a fool.
The resemblance between you and a fool is uncanny. No, the resemblance, he means, between Phoenix and Madeline, it's uncanny.
Surely you've read her mind, Charles, to learn the truth.
Madeline's one of those rare brains. I love when people refer to other people as brains. Madeline is one of those rare brains whose thoughts are close to me. It's a natural phenomenon, though most unusual in a normal human. Scott's thoughts, however, have of late become the proverbial open book. He is deeply troubled, and even more deeply in love.
He thinks such disgusting thoughts. So disgusting. Could Madeline be Jean Grey, Phoenix reborn? Is such a thing possible?
Who knows? Can a love as true as hers and Scott's survive death? Indeed. What is death to a creature such as Phoenix? This physical likeness may be more than cruel coincidence compounded by our own fears and fantasies.
I pray it is.
So do I. Scott deserves the happiness Madeline has brought him.
And we deserve ours.
Let's suck face.
Let's suck face.
Hey, do
By
you
the
ever
way,
think about... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love that he's trying to work out like physically, and she's also in workout clothes. I don't think she's working out. I think she's just dressed the part.
And he's wearing leg warmers, right?
Right.
Like, that's one of the most 80s things that a person could possibly wear. And I think we've talked about this before. And so is she.
Yeah.
Is the 20-minute workout?
Yeah.
Which, you remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Moving away from that, though, do you ever think, or have we talked about, like, contemporary casting? Like 1983 casting for this? And these,
I don't think we've ever talked about it.
So I have one that I like, which is as Lilandra is 1983 Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right in the...
she has those really sculpted features.
She does.
And obviously she's, a great actor and statuesque and all that stuff. But to me, she'd be like awesome in that Shi'ar headpiece, the feather hair. But she's just like Paul Smith draws such a statuesque, chiseled face. Like she would just be such a good Paul Smith Lilandra to me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if, I don't know who you cast as Cyclops at this moment in time, but again, thinking 83, you want to do Harrison Ford for everything, or at least I do, but he's much too
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because I still think is a great cast from Wizard Magazine.
Michael Bain.
Michael Bain. Michael Bain is like so Bain was a bit past, like, I guess so Aliens is 88, 89.
Is it really that late?
Yeah, it is. And of course Terminator is like 84, 85.
Oh my gosh.
He shows up in The Rock, right? He's the leader of the SEAL team in The Rock. So that's 96. Right. So he's still, but like a little bit, not old, but like a little grizzled Michael Bain for Cyclops, like as his team field leader. I was on board. When I was 14, I was like, this is the casting right here.
Right. And he seems, so Aliens is 1986.
Oh, okay. So there you go, 86.
And so that's, of course, the two of them, right? Michael Bain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's that's really fun.
It is really fun.
He was one of those actors that seemed to just maybe miss that moment where he would have been the leading man in a million more movies. Exactly. But to be the kind of the alpha male in Aliens, and be a lead actor in Terminator.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And his we get a nice treat when he shows up in Mando.
Right.
As the kind of mercenary,
sure,
with the governor or whatever her title is. Anyway,
right. I wonder who else we would cast of this time period. Right. It would be a silly and fun exercise for us, nonetheless.
Absolutely.
But we move on.
Okay. Am I crazy? I love Madeline. I'm certain she feels the same about me. I haven't felt so happy, so complete since Jean died. Like I've found a missing essential piece of myself. Why can't I simply accept what is and have done with it? Why do I keep questioning? What am I trying to destroy us? She's a sole survivor of a plane crash that occurred at the precise instant Jean died on the moon. From the moment we met, she seemed to know me better than I do myself. And as near as I can discover, she has no traceable existence prior to that crash. So it all pans out. It all makes sense. Whenever I press her about it, she changes the subject.
Penny for your thoughts, handsome?
They were of you, Red, as always.
You look so sad, Scott. Been talking to ghosts? I do from time to time. Can't really help myself. People from my flight, I try to explain, to apologize. Occasionally I scream. So many dead, even though it wasn't my fault. I blame myself. I can't forget, but I also can't let them control my life. The same goes for you.
And my ghosts?
One in particular. Not your usual sort of romantic rival, you must admit.
No real rival at all, sweetheart.
Scott, about your dad's offer. Please don't hold back on my account.
Suppose I ask you and those crazy ghosts come with me.
Neat.
And scene. That's actually really this last panel.
Totally. Almost like a fade out or a fizzle out, or kind of a fade or a swipe, to move away from it. Northern Japan, the ancestral seat of Clan Yoshida. There's a massive explosion in an archway. Mariko! Translated from the Japanese.
Turn away, Wolverine-sama. You are not welcome here. Leave this place or suffer the consequences.
Make me, Tomo-san.
Aye. As Lord of Clan Yoshida, I command you all to lay down your weapons. I will have no bloodshed in my house.
That, darling, remains to be seen. We were to be married, Mariko. You swore you loved me with all your heart. But on our wedding day, you called it off. Why?
As I told you then, you are not worthy.
That's not good enough.
It's the only answer you deserve, murder of my father.
Oh, jeez. Do you remember this blade, Mariko? You gave it to me. The honor sword of Clan Yoshida. For 800 years, it has represented all you are and wish to be. The spiritual and physical perfection we strive for. To be worn, not by the lord of the clan, but by the samurai who best exemplifies those qualities. If I'm not worthy of you, lady, I'm not worthy of it.
Kenichi-san, most esteemed brother, would you return that sacred blade to its proper resting place?
Hi, sister. His name is Kenichio Harada, the Silver Samurai. His ambition was to take Mariko's place as Lord. A few weeks ago, he tried to kill her. Wolverine stopped him. I'm reading this in Wolverine's voice accidentally. I thought it was him narrating again. Forgive me, everyone. I have won, little Gaijin. All my past crimes are forgiven. Mariko has named me her heir. You have nothing. You are nothing.
Wolverine, my love is for a man, not a beast clad in human form. Leave my sight, my house, my land, forever.
Poor guy.
So as we, by the way, flash back to the previous issue, of course, we had a certain someone whisper certain things into Mariko's ear, a certain Jason Wingard to, cloud her mind or to feed her, to take over her mind, or whatever it happens to be. But once I saw that explosion, Wolverine just tried to take down Clan Yoshida again. It was like, man, do I get to see Wolverine take revenge on Wingard for messing up his? You know what I mean? Like, Wingard's all up in the Cyclops and Jean Grey stuff, but like, will Wolverine ever find out and like go right after Mastermind?
Oh yeah, he would.
That's what I want to see now.
Yeah, I want to
see. You ruined my wedding.
Well, not just that, but like all the pain and suffering, and he stole his future, right? He stole his.
It was an open bar.
Exactly. Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, an hour's drive from New York City. We're in residence of the team of mutant superheroes founded by him, the Uncanny X-Men, one of whose members, Kitty Pryde, is sneaking a mid-afternoon break from her academic studies.
That's telling Luke and Leia 3PO. Boy, Lockheed, these Lashbys sure have a way with words, you know?
By the way, that issue is also edited by Louise Simonson.
And what is a Lashby?
I do not know.
Okay. All right.
When I read this, I was like, I'm just going to not know something, and that's totally fine.
But is it totally fine?
Nah.
Yeah. Not losing any sleep. Okay. Oh, you're just as eloquent. You're just dragon and just as cute. I've got to show the story to Peter. He'll love it. What are you doing? Let go of my hair. Lockheed, you're jealous. That's the nicest compliment I've had in days. Thank you, Lockheed. And just because I like Peter a lot doesn't mean I like you any less. I've got more than one friend. You'll have to accept that. Now stay here and behave yourself. I'll be back soon.
Slipping her molecules of her own body through those of the door, Kitty phases out of her room and proceeds down the hall to where her teammate, Pyotr Nikolaevich Rasputin, is struggling with his latest canvas.
Go away, please. I am busy. So take a break. That's what I'm doing. I should have locked the door. Wouldn't have helped. I can walk through walls. Painting give you trouble? For a diversion you insist is supposed to relax you. This sure makes you awful grumpy. Only when it does not, Katya. It looks fine to me. It is not right. There are feelings, perceptions. I wanted so badly to convey them in my head, clear as crystal, but hard as I try, I cannot get them into my hands or onto the canvas. It is very frustrating. Katya, what you need, sir, is a change of scene. I would prefer being left alone. Tough luck. I won't take no for an answer. Come on, some playtime will do us both good. Where are we going? Upstairs to Aurora's attic. I was going to show you the latest Star Wars comic, but that can wait. This is important. And what, pray tell, is this? I can't tell you. It'll spoil the surprise. Come on, Peter. Stop being such an old stick in the mud. Sorry, merely a sense of self-preservation.
Awesome body language from all these pictures.
Awesome.
He's just the best.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of a Clark Kent vibe too, right?
Totally. Like a big lug, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Haha, very funny. For certain. The phrase dunce is for sure. Stand right here and close your eyes. I am going to regret this. Close them, Buster, and cool with the wisecracks. Whatever you say. Perfect. What a maroon. Surprise! Kitty, you're blushing. I'm angry. It was worth it. But don't be angry. It wasn't intentional. Spur of the moment impulse. I couldn't help myself. Honest. But again, what a page of like body language.
Oh, yeah.
So good. That wasn't the real surprise, though. So you say, okay, don't get hyper and don't drop me. Start walking forward at a nice, easy pace. It's working. When I'm holding on to something or someone, I can extend my phasing power to affect them too. I've got Peter walking on air. That's actually really cool. I love that panel. And through the floor of Aurora's attic, this is fantastic. I can't let anything break my concentration. If we solidify now, things could get messy. Or are we not near the end of the hall yet, Katya? Shh! Keep walking, Peter. There's nothing to worry about. Trust me. Famous last words, I think. I'd best sneak a peek by the white wolf! Which is super Borat-y, my apologies. You klutz! I told you not to open your eyes!
That's fun. I like the treads on his shoes, too.
Totally. It's great.
Yeah.
How did you do that? Neat, huh? I've been studying Professor X, determining the full extent of my phasing powers, and then practicing in the danger room to strengthen them. This is the first time I tried affecting someone as big as you. That was some surprise, Katya. I'm glad nothing went wrong. I'm also very proud of you. Yeah, I'm pretty darn impressive, aren't I? Very. Peter, shouldn't we be watering Aurora's plants? That is why we came up here. They can wait a little longer. You look scared. I am scared. I don't care.
Outside. Aha! Visitors in my attic. How nice. Oh, dear.
Also, great panel.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
I also really like the fact that, like, there's that she says Peter. She doesn't say what it is,
No.
but I'm just going to interpret that the way I want to. And I think, like, again, that face on her, and she is scared, and she still wants to go forward with things. Like, that's great.
Yeah. That's a really sweet sequence. It's a really sweet sequence.
Yes, if all of the other things about their, like, age difference and all that is, like, not part of it. If it's just two young people on even terms figuring stuff out in a quiet attic.
Exactly. Quiet attic.
I gotcha.
Oh, G.I. Joe. Yeah, that was sweet.
Give me some G.I. Joe ads.
Beautiful. And those, a few bad men, a few good men.
They want their men's.
They want their men. Everybody wants their men. Oh my gosh. What are you doing here?
I live here. I would ask the same of you, kitten, but the answer seems obvious since neither of you are wearing pants.
It's terrible.
It's true.
I'm so embarrassed. I could die. Maybe if I phase and run. Don't you dare. We didn't expect you back so soon. I figured we'd take care of your plants. Aurora, where are your flowers? The attic used to be full of them. What have you done?
As I have changed, little one, I have changed my home to match. Elsewhere in the sprawling mansion, the X-Men's medic, Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, tends to their newest member, Rogue. Also mistyped by most people on the internet, Rouge.
Rouge.
Recovering from her injuries from the last issue.
We know Nightcrawler often looks after her, but it's funny how it feels like this is the first formal, he's the medic of the team.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, David Cutler. Oh. Enjoy listening to a few bad men. Enjoy.
That's right. I need a few. Everyone needs men. That's what we come out of. G.I. Joe just needs men. That's what we came out. You're doing fine. Another fortnight should see you up and about. Oh, what's the point? None of you trust me. You never will either, because I was an evil mutant. It would have solved a lot of hassles if Wolverine had simply let me die, instead of saving me. That was his choice, Rogue. If he thought you deserved death, he would have let you die without hesitation. But he evidently considered you worth saving. Why not give yourself a chance to prove him right? And this used to be Jean Grey's room, right? Yeah. Who was she, Kurt? Why are you all so skittish whenever you talk about Scott's new girlfriend just because she looks like Jean? Jean, as Marvel Girl, was a founding member of the X-Men. In later years, she became a being of unimaginable power, Phoenix. Virtually single-handedly, she saves the entire universe from extinction. She wielded the power of a god, but she was not God. And that dichotomy drove her mad, transforming her into Dark Phoenix. In her rampage, she destroyed an inhabited star system, 5 billion lives. After that, in a burst of sanity, she realized there was but one way out, to stop this evil side of herself. And so by her own hand, for the sake of all creation, she died. But was that the story's end? Phoenix was born when Jean died and then resurrected herself. If done once, why not again? Storm saw the Phoenix effect, a giant bird of fire in Tokyo, on the eye of our introduction to Madeline. Coincidence? Or portent? Suppose she is Phoenix reborn. What then? Do she and Scott not deserve a second chance at happiness? If it came to a fight, even with every X-Man against her, I truly doubt we'd win. I've never felt so alone. I wish Amanda was here. I could use her laughter. Eh? Das ist... Ha! Says,
I know you'd prefer the real thing, darling, but XXOOXX.
It says, big hug, little kiss, big hug. It's
and
nice that he has a doll.
Yeah, because she has the doll of him.
Yeah, and which he has. Remember the last issue where he's like got it placed?
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. Did you know, by the way, that it was the doll that like was the inspiration for the X-Babies?
No.
So do you know what the X-Babies are?
No.
Oh, then never mind. Okay, we'll talk about it in
5 minutes.
many weeks, but it will come up. It'll come up. You're gonna love it,
Thank
or
you.
you'll think it's totally bonkers. But yeah,
I'm glad David is still enjoying my my Marge Simpson streetcar voice acting.
it's not just David that enjoys it; it's the entire internet. Every thumbs up we get is because of that voice. By the way, I love that drawing of Rogue with thermometer with her hair like a little
It's
mess.
wonderful.
It just is a different version of her again.
Yep.
Like she's turning into a real character and not just like this one note that we originally saw from Michael Golden, who drew amazingly, but it was a different character.
Yeah.
And then the Dave Cockrum, for an issue. But this is neat.
And we're getting again these we go right from Kitty and Peter having a moment to a nice moment between Rogue and Nightcrawler, and he does a really great recap. Like, I actually really enjoyed the recap.
It's his perspective too. It's not just for the reader. It's like you get to see his view of those events in the world.
Totally. Totes.
Later, aboard a North Star Airways flight bound for Anchorage.
Not quite the view from your dad's star. Oh, that's you.
Not quite the view from your dad's Starjammer, Scott, but it suits me just fine. Made your decision yet?
Still thinking?
I guess this ring complicates matters, she says, wiping tears from her eyes.
Whatever happens, I wanted you to know how I felt.
It's mutual, sweetheart. Till death do us part.
That's the idea. Hold the fort, Red. I'll check on the passengers. Right to the end, I was positive I'd chicken out, but I did it. I actually proposed. And Madeline accepted. I don't know the truth about her. Perhaps I never will, but that doesn't really matter. I'll love her just the same. We'll be landing soon, gents. Please fasten your seatbelts.
Look at those faces on those guys.
I know, eh?
Like Paul Smith is just whipping out like such chops, such
those
drawing chops.
Those hosers in Alaska.
Oh yeah, big time. And it looks like again that this is what artists like Michael Golden and Art Adams and Todd McFarlane pull from when they're drawing, supporting characters and extras. Like this degree of like caricature work, and really phenomenal drawing. Just great.
Mm-hmm. And make sure your personal gear is safely stowed.
Young man, pilot.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to bother you, lad, but I believe you dropped this as you passed.
Thanks, Father. I hadn't noticed.
'Tis a fine, lovely figure of a woman. Our captain, is it not?
No. It's someone who looks like her. Gee, the shots from her first visit to Greece, just before her transformation to Dark Phoenix. It's not mine. And to get here, why now?
Are you well, lad? You've gone so pale.
It's been a long trip, Padre. I'm tired. You'll excuse me. I meet on the flight deck. Has the world gone crazy, or is it only me? I thought I had things all sorted out, but now I'm more confused and scared than ever.
Poor boy, looks like he was just kicked in the gut. Better get used to it, Sonny, because there's more to come. You okay, Scott?
Something I hate. It's making me feel a bit weird.
You still want to get together tonight?
Are you kidding?
Hold on. You're engaged, dude. You don't get together. Like, that's it. You're not planning dates anymore.
Maybe tonight. No. Maybe they're engaged, and he's like, tonight's third base.
Still want to get together tonight?
You kidding? This is a celebration I wouldn't miss for the world.
That evening, Madeline heads home from the market, wondering about Scott's inexplicable mood shift. He tried to cover it, but I know him too well. He's withdrawn into himself, shutting me out. Something's wrong, but he won't tell me what. It could have been a gastrointestinal tract issue, but he won't admit that he has major problems down there.
Major diarrhea.
I'm going to tell you a story another time about that. But it's a Sarah Silverman joke, but we'll talk about it later.
Sure.
On the other hand, who am I to complain about other people being secretive. Old habits die hard, and you pay for them dearly. Probably nerves on both our parts. Engaged. Can you believe it? And soon to be married. Will wonders never cease? I hope Scott's ready, and he's as good a cook as he says, because I am starved.
The dear boy is quite ready, Madeline, but regrettably not in the way you think.
Laughter, malevolent, triumphant, follows her up the stairs, but she doesn't hear it. I'm home, sweetheart. What? He doesn't even respond.
Doesn't even say anything.
Bubbly's nice and chilled, lover. Want to get blitzed and fooled around?
What did I say? Third base.
Scott? Is anything the matter? Has something happened to your dad or the X-Men?
No, nothing like that. I've been thinking. I need an answer to a very important question.
We played this scene this morning, remember? I said yes.
Madeline, I'm serious. I've been wrestling with this all day, trying to explain away my doubts and fears, telling myself I'm being a fool. It's no good. I can't. I have to know. Are you the reincarnation of Jean Grey? Are you Phoenix?
Don't change the page. Just leave it right there. Like,
okay.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Just asking her straight up. It's, yeah. It feels, okay. Reading this for me the first time, all the tension was there, like all the anticipation of the page flip. And I'm really in love with the fact that this isn't traditionally an action scene.
Yeah.
But it's not really like a whodunit mystery in the same kind of way. It's like the suspense is about their emotions and about, are they going to, find happiness? Can they get through this? And we don't know the answer. Like, is this Jean Grey? Like, we're really up in the air.
Yeah.
So I love it that, again, they also pace this for a page turn. And he asks the question, and then you have that beat. Even placing the letters on the left side of the page in the panel leaves the right side open for you to just have a breath. It's really good. David adds, I thought the want to get blitzed line was Jason editorializing. No, dude, that was in the script. Want to get blitzed and fool around. I can't believe it. It's so good.
Or should I change the script?
Please.
All right, and boom.
And no sound effect, right? You don't need anything. You just
you do not.
What it is.
That's a great, and look at that body language. It's great.
Yeah.
Madeline, my glasses. My optic blasts fire whenever I open my eyes. Those ruby quartz lenses are the only means I have to control them. Without the glasses, I have to keep my eyes shut tight. I'm blind, helpless. That was some punch, and I deserved it. How could I have been such a jerk? What could have possessed me? I hurt Madeline as deeply as a person can be hurt. I, as much as told her our love is a lie. I don't care for her, only for the ghost she represents. Can't feel my glasses anywhere in reach. Can't waste time looking for them either. It's a good thing I always carry an emergency set of spares. Got to make sure they're in place before I open my eyes, even for a fraction. I could wreck Madeline's house as easily as I have her life.
I will just say, by the way, they are different glasses. Like the shape
They
are
are
different.
Yeah.
I'm comparing the before and the after, and they are like they're the John Byrne ones.
Yeah. They almost look like swimming goggles.
Yes.
Yeah. But how do I explain when I don't even know myself why I asked her? The doubts, fears, questions, they all seem so real a minute ago. But now, Madeline, can we talk? Please?
And then there's that awesome fire, and he gets blown away. And as much as I would love to do the high and low voice, do you remember we used to do that for Dark Phoenix?
Oh, yeah, for Phoenix, absolutely.
Do you want to try? Do you want to do the low or the whisper?
I'll do the low, the guttural.
Okay.
But it's only like for the first, it's just you though, right? The second.
Okay, sure. Okay. The time for talk, lover, is over. so silly.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, man. And this is what, of course, Jay Torres was talking about this last week.
Oh, right.
About this being the splash page that he and Paul Smith were pointing to when he met them in Montreal as a kid.
Well, he was talking to Claremont. He's like, I figured it out. And
Right.
Claremont's like,
right. It's like, no, dude, it's not Mastermind. It's Dark Phoenix. Like, look. Yeah. So he was, trying to keep the illusion going. And it's this. Remember, when they were in space, they brought the idea of Dark Phoenix coming back in for an issue as well. So like this has been now like you gotta. This has to be something. Oh, hey, Bijou.
She's like, Star Wars starts soon.
Right.
Star Wars starts soon.
This has to be something. This can't be them just teasing us again.
No,
you know what I mean?
So, and it's also, I was going to say too, the one thing I really like about, I'm just going to go quickly to it.
Sure.
The last panel and how bird-like the nose is. It's like a beak, which I really dig. Like it's a nightmare scenario, and it's like that's like transformation into. I mean, she looks a lot more human on the final splash, but it's a nice nod to that like avian kind of quality. Yeah,
really beautiful stuff. Smith he is killing it, and this is the last issue where he draws the whole thing. Next issue 175, which is double sized, he draws the first 30 pages, and we get the first John Romita Jr.
Okay, that's okay.
We get the first John Romita Jr. Uncanny X-Men, and definitely not the last. We're going to be in another era starting next issue, which goes for a long, long time. And for those of us who love JR, it's going to be interesting to see some of his earlier Marvel work, long before he really figures out. So he takes a lot of what Paul Smith puts in place and runs with it. Like a lot of his designs stay Paul Smith-ish. Especially with characters like Cyclops, and obviously Storm's costuming and whatnot. So it's been really cool. But we're going to get 30 more pages of Paul Smith.
Okay,
and then we'll get a little more Paul Smith later on in the X-Men Alpha Flight 2-parter. But it's been sad. A little sad. Well, it's just been the best. Is there anything else in this issue?
No, I don't know. Really. I think it's a quick issue. It's pretty tight. We finally get this reveal that we've been perhaps wondering about for so long. Is she not?
Right.
I think it's great. And it took Scott to basically break his own heart again to be like, Phoenix. And then that's what brings her out. Right. That's it. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we'll see how this plays out in the next issue next week, of course, on Previous and X-Men, where I know that there is one of our regulars is hoping to come on, and I have yet to confirm with him.
Oh, cool!
But, I'm hoping we're going to have on next week. Trevor 16 Shooter has put in a request, and we should be so happy to have him on, of course, to talk about this stuff with us. And other than that, Chris, this weekend. Where are you going to be at?
I'll be at the Guelph Comics Jam in Guelph, Ontario, at the Dragon, celebrating 25 years of the Dragon, one of the great comic book stores around in Canada, in the world, downtown Guelph, 10 to 6, with a whole host of guests extraordinaire. A number of, we got our books there. We should hopefully have our new book, right? It's at the printers. It's being, hopefully next day and a half, we might actually get to pick it up. We'll see.
They said that it's being packaged. It's at the packaging stage. It's been printed. It's been bound. It's just we're waiting for the packaging and then the message that says, come pick up. And I will drop what I'm doing wherever I am.
Drop, like you're like holding a baby. Baby gets dropped. Like
baby gets dropped. Whatever. Other than Thursday night, I will drop what I'm doing to go pick it up.
That's right. And Thursday night, we're hanging out. I
can't wait.
Gonna go see a rock and roll show, kids. A couple of dads going to see a rock and roll show.
Do you do a dad rock dance?
I mean,
like just.
I do the octopus actually.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good hangout.
It's gonna be a good time.
If David's still there, I got to just flash this at David.
It's not as good as Thomas Cyclops, though. Thomas
Oh.
drinking a Mountain Dew at Fan
Yeah,
Expo. Best
that was super
Cyclops
special.
at Burning Man.
Yes.
You got to go.
I got to go. We're going to watch Ahsoka, which is great.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm hopping on Kev's thing. He wasn't sure that I was coming, so he booked other people. And so I think it's going to be a bit of a crowd, but he has been very sweet and says, yeah, come on. So I will be on towing around the Boba Squadron at 10 o'clock, talking about Ahsoka. So that should be
I think
fun.
I'm going to watch it now too. Why not?
And I wanted to get like a flat brimmed hat
Oh.
and then take off my glasses because I believe that Paul is going to be on. And so
Maybe I'll join the chat.
As much like Paul as I possibly can.
Nice.
Good episode.
Do you mean Phoenix Leader? By the way, how dope was that? Yeah, the connection? I was like, oh, the heart.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And you're welcome, David. But thank you, sir. That's the bottom line. Chris, good to hang out with you. I got a jet. Everyone in the chat, thank you for being with us tonight. Everyone watching live and watching it on your own time, we really appreciate it. Click like, throw a comment in the section below.
Tell your friends, subscribe.
Yes, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're up to 242. It's really special.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right. We'll see you all next week on Previously on X-Men. Cheers.
Take care.
And good luck this weekend, Chris.
Thanks, buddy.